in the shade on the porch. I took a photo with a thermometer for the archives. My name's Nikki. I'm the curator at the museum here, and we've been doing a speaker series as part of the Teen Tales program. And one of the topics that I thought was missing from the archives was stories about local artists. We have a lot of stories about farmers and loggers and settlers, but there have been quite a few artists that have lived in the area. And these are two of my favorite artists because they've been supporters of our gift shop for years. And they agreed to come and talk in a very informal way about being an artist and their journey as artists in Pemberton. So that's what we're going to talk about today. George is going to film us for the record. And I just want to say to the speakers, if at any point you need water or something, just send me and I'll go get you something. And same with anybody here, if you got to get up, no problem. We'll just keep running the camera anyway. So I think I'll start with Judy. She's got her book of art, her glass works. Judy's a glass artist. And I thought I'd just start by asking you how you got started as an artist, Judy.
Well, actually, I got started when back in 1978. I was living with two other women in a house in Port Kells, and one of the women in the house was an art student at Vancouver Art School, and she was working on a stained glass project at the time for her class. I would look over her shoulder and check it out, and then that was fun. I was always intrigued with it, even since when I was a little girl. The church that we used to go to had 8 stained glass windows. So of course I spent more time looking at them than anything else. Anyway, and then I met my husband, or what became my husband. I met Hugh when he was teaching in Surrey, and we got together. That was it. Met and fell in love, and decided that we at the time, my job, I was doing youth counseling, family counseling with young people in the community, and my husband was a school teacher, and his job had ended and my job had ended. And so we sort of met at this juncture where we were both looking for something to do, or what to do with the rest of our lives, we would say. And we both knew we wanted to travel, but we also knew we'd like to have our home with them. So our first stained glass projects began with building our home on the back of an old 5-ton Chevy truck, complete with 14 stained glass windows.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Wow.
That's right.
You got a picture of that, Judy?
There you go. So, so that's what we did. We spent about 6 months building it right from scratch all the way through. And then when it was done, we started traveling. And as we traveled, people admired our stained glass, and I actually still kind of kept wanting to do it. So as we traveled, in the evening, I would sit at the picnic tables or campsites where we were, or not campsites, and I would cut small little sun catchers. And then every once in a while, we'd have to pull into a campsite that actually had electricity, so I could plug in my soldering iron. And I would solder them, and people would come by, and they would buy them from us. And so that was our gas and travel money to go across Canada and back. So it became, so we came back to BC in 1979, and Hugh's father was overseas. He was in the oil business, and he got out of Iran just before the Shah, all that kerfuffle that happened over there. So he came back, and he needed a place to live. We needed a place to live because travel days were starting to wear on us. And so we saw an ad in the paper, and It was the site that we bought in Bergen in 1980. We looked at it May 1st and May 30th. We drove this into Pemberton. Caused quite a stir, I think. Nobody
I
knew
remember.
what to make. Yeah, there's probably a few people here that remember us coming into town. And we parked it on the land, and we took it off the truck, and it still is a part of our house. We built around it, kept building, and so it's still with us. We even have the old truck out in the back. And before we had done that, we had done the paperwork and set up our company, our Glassworks, which is still this year is our 30th year in business. And so what we do is we do custom stained glass. Always wanted to stay with that. Mostly I'm self-taught, but I've done some studying at a school called Pilchuck Glass School in Washington. It's a very world famous glass school for a lot for glass blowing, but every aspect of glass work occurs at this school. And I went down there to study a process called glass fusion, which I now also incorporate into my flat